The weather has been much better for the last 2 weeks at the food bank. I've been able to go to the Monday food bank 2 times and Tuesday's afternoon food bank. That's what I'm going to call it now. The after 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock food bank. As well as the Wednesday food bank. I hit the Wednesday food bank. I hit that in about 2 months. So I was able to hook that up. And I do my Thursday food bank. So I haven't missed the Thursday food bank yet. So we ain't had no too much high drama the first week. It was just nice to make the rounds, that's for sure. But as usual, the second week, I didn't do all the ones I wanted to do. What I did was cold in the morning and warm up in the afternoon. But as usual, I just did the Thursday food bank for the second time. First time around wasn't too bad. We didn't have no drama. But this time we had drama mama there. That's what I'm going to call her, drama mama. She was there with her daughter. And the daughter has a big butt. So she was there with her big butt daughter. And that big butt was drawing too much attention for her. And she didn't like guys peeking at her butt and staring at that booty. So she made a little scene about that with one of the people that was in there, from the community. And she called him out for looking at her daughter's rear end. And she was a little out of order because that's not her house. She got a problem with that. She got to tell the church people about it, but she took it upon herself to make a scene and call him out for looking at her daughter's rear end. And she's a big butt girl, but she draws a lot of attention. But as long as the person looking, it ain't hurt nothing, but it offended her. So she came out and she was very defensive of her daughter, but her daughter never said nothing. That's the second time that happened, but the daughter don't say nothing, but the mama got the mouth running. So she talking her yang and to this guy, but you got to be careful doing that. You know what I'm saying? You never know what might send a person off, because it could be a whole lot of stuff started because you don't like something. She all came out complaining from the jump. She complained about the way they did things. So I took the time out to try to explain to her that they doing things the way they want to do it because they don't have to do it your way. You think because they're giving the food from Forgotten Harvest that they're public food bank. Then they open to the public. They don't turn nobody away. But they don't have to give you nothing else. You can understand why they was last. But it never fails. That person, when they be complaining about being last and not getting that much and everything, they be the ones who leave out with the most food. It never fails. The second time that happened, when a person was talking all that yang about how they was being, why they should be last, why shouldn't they be first, and all that old BS. But at the end of the day, they be the ones that leaving out with the most of the food. They just don't like the way they doing things. Everybody has their own style. So I try to explain to her that you come here with nothing, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to leave here with something. I started to call out the free loaf card. Which y'all might just play that on people. But basically, that's what we're doing. We're just free loafing. When you just free loafing, that food bank, you just free loafing. And that's all there is to it. You come there with nothing, and you leave there with something, and you basically got your hand out. And they invite you to get as much as you want this and get as much as you want that. But you're free loafing. Because you're not doing nothing to earn it. Earn it but showing up and signing your signature, signing your name to something, or signing some paperwork. And that's it. That's your requirement. And the other requirement is on you to have good behavior. So there are 2 people that were complaining. The other brother that comes all the time, he's a professional complainer. But he always leave out with a bunch of stuff. So this time he jumped up in front of the line, made sure he was the first, one of the first group. So he got in front of 3 other women. But the women didn't mind. The senior citizens went in. And those senior citizens, they get a lot. They get a plate all the time. They get an extra cake or an extra package of meat. So they get a plate all the time. But this time, Mama Bear was very aggressive about them guys standing at her daughter's rear end. She was a low rider. She had a big booty. And she was drawing a lot of attention, that's for sure. But she wasn't complaining, but her mama was. And she feels she needed to protect her daughter's interests. But you can't be calling people out and you in somebody else's house. You don't like the way the rules is, you don't like the way somebody looking at something, and that's on you to leave. But like I said, at the end of the day, that person left out with a whole lot of food. And their two boxes was on full. So anytime you put your box on full, they gave you 3 pieces of meat, gave you all the sweets you want. You had 2 times around with the sweet cake. People was giving her milk for the kids. They said she needs some milk for the kids. So when I got ready to leave, I checked out that they was in an SUV. And their SUV was on full. They had went to probably the other stop early that Thursday and got 3 or 4 gallons of milk there. So they had about 4 or 5 gallons of milk. So if she got a lot of kids like that, that's more power to them. But they set her up pretty good with the milk there for sure. So I just go to show you try to explain to people how the program is on Thursdays. And some people come in there, they just stuck on stupid, that's all. And when a person's stuck on stupid, you can't tell them nothing. I don't care how hard you try. They always look at it from a negative standpoint. But the reality of it all, when you're at the food bank, you basically freeloading. That's exactly what you're doing. You're coming in there looking to get something for nothing. And they don't make you feel bad about it. So you should never complain when you get something for nothing. So that was my little pet peeve for her this week. But I did get a chance to hit all the rest of the food banks. And there was no high drama. On Mondays, they've been running low on what they're getting from Forgotten Harvest. So they say we're going to ask cleaners to drop off the cases of vegetables and whatever else they got to give them so they can stretch it out a little bit because they had 30 tickets one Monday and the second Monday they had 40 tickets. So I got there early. So I had told this one young lady that I had a shopping cart for her that I'll meet her there. Well, by the time she got there, it was, I call it Cooling the Gang. By the time Cooling the Gang got there, it was 1 o'clock and it was too late. She was in the back of the line. And I let her know I got a chance to pass that shopping cart on to her. So I got it for free, so I don't mind giving away something. If I get it for free, I ain't going to try to sell it to nobody. I'm going to give it to them if I feel they got a need for it. So if you're walking and you're hauling these goods, especially the produce, a lot of times you get potatoes or watermelon or a sack of something. You need to have a cart and not just book bags. You rolling with a book bag and some bags. And I know that when first she had to walk, it would be a little distance for her. So I hooked up with the shopping cart finally. But I let her know she wanted to hang with that stuff with the Monday food bank. You got to leave early because some people be there as early as 12 o'clock and it starts at 1. So some people be there an hour early claiming a spot. And the warmer it get, the more earlier the people are going to come out. But they don't mind standing around that hour so you can be in front of somebody. So there's one lady, she had the same experience I did on Monday. And the last ticket at the door was her. And I know that feeling because that what happened to me one time. And she missed about one person. So that just goes to show you how that works out. But the Tuesday food bank that runs from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock, they still not having a real big turnout because they really don't have a whole big selection right now. They're still building it up. And they're trying to rotate the stuff they got out because they got a small space. And I did all right with them. I do good with canned goods. I give that canned goods to my dog. I stretch that dog food with it. So I go there, I get rice. I got the rice this time, and I get some canned goods and some noodles that I can stretch out the dog food. By adding it with the dog food and stretch it out for the dog. So save me some money on some dog food. And the dog appreciate it, I guess. But she ain't got no choice but to eat it. She can't get picky, but she do eat it. So that's what's happened with the dog. I mean, not the dog, but with the food banks for the last 2 weeks of March. All this is March weather. We got past the February weather, but we're into March weather now. As far as the bicycles with the chain-driven motor so far has been a pain in the rear end for me. It cost me extra money. First $17 for this one part, and now I spent another $12 to get some bolts for the second part. And another $7 to get a specialty tool for one part. But the other one is not chain-driven. But it's chain-driven, but it's not on the same rim. One is on a cassette rim, and one is not on a cassette rim. It's on a free wheel with a brake. That free wheel with a brake, I had the tools to take it loose. I thought with the kit I bought, but I see it doesn't work. So I'm gonna be working on that. I said I was gonna start working on the rear ends, part of the bike, the rear axle, and the rear rims. Whether it's whether it's a freewheel with a brake and the cassette is the first two I'm gonna do, and the last one I'm gonna do is gonna be the 3-speed. So those are three things you have in the back. Those are three different types of rims you have in the back. The cassette is pretty easy, but the freewheel with a brake should be easy too. I see the pattern. I took about 4 loose. I have 4 of them. So I see how the pattern is. So once you learn the pattern, then you should be able to take it loose and put it together, take it loose and put it together. So that's where I'm at with that. And with the one with the cassette on it, I got everything together but the bolts. The bolts was too short when I put it together. And ran it out with the washer, so I need to have longer bolts. But I found out that they are metric bolts versus standard bolts. So the threads are different. And the threads that seem to be reversed, they might be left-turn threads instead of right-turn threads. But I do tighten them up to the right, so they should be right-turn thread. So it's righty-tighty with them. So anyway, they're hard to find, so I had to buy them off eBay. Or I had to go up to Home Depot and get them. And I got the variety pack, so I got more than one. In case this occurs again, I can be ahead of the game. So my investment so far is $12, $17, and $7, so that's $20. That's about $40 more. I have invested just to get, plus I bought some more grip. So that's about $50. So I'm $50 invested just to get started with the chain-driven bikes. That was extra from what I already had. So that's the way that went down. So that was unexpected, but that's what was part of my learning curve. I said I want to learn how to do this, so I always have to pay to play sometime. So I had to pay to play this game. And so that's where I'm at with the bicycles. Hopefully I have them up and running this month, and I can finally get up to 2 bikes. And then I can also maybe have a good month next month and buy another battery. That's the first thing I'm going to buy is a battery. My lithium battery, it's got to be close to 2 years old now. And that served me well. The 36 volt for the 500-watt motor. That served me well, so now it's time to get another one. And then I'll get the motor with the rear wheel motor, 500 watts for that. Then I should be all set for this year, if I have a good year. I'm looking to have a good year, doing some work down there with my neighbor, as well as some money coming in from a lawsuit that I dedicate that money, becomes in at about $150. I dedicate that to buying another motor, a rear end motor, so I can at least have 2 going this year. That I know for sure. Then we'll go from there. So I might have up to 4 going, or maybe 5. And then I get 2 gasoline motors going. I'm going to dedicate my time to do that. One is going to stay gasoline, the traditional 3-speed. And the other one with the cassette on it, I'm going to try to, my goal is to go with that with propane. So it should be an interesting year. I'm going to make the the hauler bike, trailer. Make a trailer that's a lot longer but narrow that can haul a bike, laid right down flat. So I see bikes out there I want to pick up, I can pick them up without having to drive my vehicle. So it should be interesting. I should have all my trailers put together this year. So all my trailers that I got that I'm going to profile with and see if I can do some sales this year with the trailers. I had one opportunity to do some sales with a trailer, but I didn't have enough spare parts as far as rims. I had the metal, the bed rails, but I didn't have enough spare front wheel rims with the tires and inner tubes. So I did get one caller for a bike trailer. So now I think I'm ready this year. I did check them all out, and I'm going to go with the hitch part, I'm going to go with the manufacturer, where I buy off the manufacturer. I'm not going to try to do my homemade hitch. It's just too difficult. It'll do more damage than good. The part I'm using has to be welded to the frame. And I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to buy it already. The hitch is already from the manufacturer and just do the trailers only and keep it simple like that. So I get around to get maybe some welding equipment. And I might hook up my homemade trailer hitches too. I know how to do it, but I don't know if I want to make that final investment. I just might if I make some money the other way. So it should be an interesting year. This is March. I should have everything together by April, no later than May. That's my goal with the bike. Because May, June, I should have everything together. And rocking and rolling and enjoying what I got going on with the bikes. And that's why I hook them up so I can ride them and enjoy them and use them for transportation around the neighborhood and to transport stuff around. And style and profile so that I can live up to my reputation of being Dan, the bicycle trailer man. So anyway, that's what's happening. I'll tell you about the Thursday food bank. We had a little high drama. Not that much. Homeboy, he, I gotta give him credit. He didn't go back off on her. He was guilty of looking. Ain't no doubt about that. We both laughed about it. We talked about it a little bit. She wearing the low rider pants. If she wearing the pants with the logo on it, so she was getting attention. She didn't appeal to me. She wasn't built the type I like to be with. But he was peeking at it just for entertainment. But Mama Bear didn't like that. So Mama Bear came out on him. But she didn't come out on the other two guys that were checking out, that was from the house. She didn't go off on them, so she knew her limitations. But you can't trust people's judgment. That girl got something started that could end up in bad, for something bad that would shut down the program for one person being ignorant, and worry about something that ain't about nothing. Making something out of nothing, that's for sure. Person want to look, let them look, so what? It ain't going to hurt to look. Shouldn't offend nobody. Offend somebody, that's too bad. You got to have thicker skin than that. Can't be thin skinned about everything. But me and my man, we talked about it, He said if I'd been outside, she had said that would have been a whole different story. Then that would have got all that started. I said, she ain't worth it. She'd be Mama Bear, that's all. And, her daughter ain't complaining with her. That was just her just going off on you. And he said, I don't want her because she went to talking to a couple of people up front of me. And she said she don't want no man in her life no more. And I can see why. Because ain't nobody want no Mama Bear woman. That's too overbearing. She said she always been a kind-hearted person and men took advantage of her. So maybe that's why she got that chip on her shoulder. Or maybe she's jealous of her daughter. Who knows? Well, it wasn't relevant. It wasn't necessary for her to do that. And that could have caused a whole lot of friction if she had crossed to another person. That had happened before. The brother had said something to the daughter, and the Mama Bear came out of it and went to try and protect her daughter. And then he walked away. That's the one time the guy walked away from the situation. Because he got tense in there. And it was about nothing. So this guy, he kept his cool. So I got to give him credit for that. Sometimes you get credit where credit's due. When a person keep their cool after they've been called out like that. And, he was cool about it. So we laughed about it and played it off, and it wasn't no big thing because he was right next with me. To me, once we were lined up to go in. And that was that. So they had more than enough to go around twice. Like I said, them two people that were doing the complaining, the one brother that always complained, I don't give him no ear. I don't give him no ear to entertain his complaining. Because he's a professional complainer. So he can't be satisfied. So I didn't give now ear to him or her. I just let her know because she had been there before, so she knew how the routine went. But she said it was a little short, so just coming in and tighten things up, but don't complain. You've been to one place already, the early place Thursday early morning, the one at 11 o'clock on 10 o'clock on Tuesday. You do the morning Tuesday and the afternoon Tuesday is one that we was at. That truck come in around 1, 2. So it worked out for them, but worked out for them real good. They worked that trip. They worked that burning that gas money in the SUV, the old SUV. So that's how it went down. And so the good part, but nobody clown. And though somebody showed off a little bit, but that's just the Drama Queen Thursday Food Bank. It's just guaranteed to bring drama every time you go there. That's just guaranteed drama. The Thursday Drama Queen Food Bank. But anyway, that's what's going on. And we will holler back at you later and let you know how this money ends up. I got one more week left before this money ends up. And hopefully I can make all my rounds next week. The weather looks like it's halfway, gonna be halfway decent. I might can make them all, but if I can't, it ain't meant to be. I ain't gonna worry about it. Because this when I do these food banks, I am saving money. Feed me and the dog, and I ain't complaining about saying maybe $20, $30 a week. It add up to about $100 a month on savings. Every once in a while, you might get sick eating this stuff. You gotta know how to throw that stuff out. If it don't smell good or taste good, throw it away. Other than that, it's all good. So later, Gator, and we'll holler back at you.